Yes, I know I'll be seeing your reaction because I'm sharing my screen. So can somebody just confirm to me that you guys can see my screen?
I can see your screen from my hand. So maybe other people can
Oh,
drop in the chat also.
oh, okay, great. So I just need to believe that everyone can see it. So all right, and of course, I believe we have started recording. So we want to quickly rush through what we have today. So today we'll be looking at some topics now. And like what we did yesterday, we were able to create a table. We were able to understand the RDBMS by using a Postgres. So now today we'll be looking at some field statements, very important one now for that matter. The group by statement, order by keywords, select distinct statement, and the like operator. So just look at that. They look at how that one. Very good. So let's go. So why are we actually looking at this? Yesterday, I believe Mr. Falansha has done justice to the very purpose of why SQL. And we know that by now, everybody should have an idea that it is used. It's a standard language used for manipulating, storing, retrieving data in databases. Yeah. So, but we have several relational databases. Just that we are using Postgres right now, which is very popular and frequently being used, and the SQL Server as well, that of Microsoft. So, but let's look at the group by properly. So, when we talk about group by, I was mentioning an aggregate function yesterday because it actually works with that. So what we'll be looking at the aggregate function, the syntax and positioning, the hands-on practice, and the application. So let's go. Now, so what is even this group by statement? The truth is it is used in in identical data. It's a way to arrange a data that are very identical into groups, with help of some function. So instead of just like the Microsoft Excel we are so used to, you will see some name appear multiple places, I mean the same column. So and there is a corresponding number, be attached to it. So that if we want to make a summary about it, let's say we are having some score, then we can just let me use this our grade, for example, in school. So they might be seeing because we are not the only student in the school, so we have multiple. So anytime they now want to calculate, so they'll pick all our score and use an aggregate function, maybe average now, to summarize our performance. So maybe they will use average. Average is a aggregate function. Summing is an aggregate function. Maximum, minimum, count. These are all aggregate functions. So this enables us to summarize a set of data inside a column. So well, let's look at what we mean. Now, with group by, I just mentioned this now. The counts, these are just examples of aggregate functions that are frequently used. The maximum, minimum, summation, the average, so on and so forth. So they work together with the group by because that's how you will be able to group them. So So these are we have some syntax and positioning. You are going to see the real thing. We have the select function, the select statement. We have been saying that since yesterday to return what we are looking for. Anywhere, yeah, can be used sometimes to based on if we are trying to filter certain information. So we use where clause. Other by is used to rearrange, for example. They are being used to rearrange. Maybe you want to arrange them alphabetical order or from ascending to descending. Then having clause, also it can be used together with a group by, especially if you are trying to do some calculation at the where, or you will see what I'm talking about. So let's go. Now, this is a group by syntax. An example. Now you can state the condition, everything. You can write all the query. Okay, these are the columns you are looking at. And now this is the aggregate function. It can be sum, it can be maximum, minimum, any one of them. So that means you will group it with respect to this function. So this will, the name here, it could be name, but it can even be number, can be used to summarize what we have here. Then we can now say, okay, we want to rearrange it, like that. So I know it might still look like, what are we doing? But trust me, it's very easy. By the time we start doing the hands-on itself. So group by application, in the application is SQL. This establish a data group based on column and aggregate the information within the group only. Yes, just like what we have been saying. So the criterion is defined by the column specified in the group by clause. So we can follow, just the way it is arranged. Yeah, let me go back. This is how sometimes if you put where at the last and the group by, it will not run. So I want us to understand that there is an hierarchy of arrangement that we must follow. The order by has always been the last, or except I think the one that is always been the last is the limit. If, for example, if we are trying to find the top 10, top 20, so this is what I mean about the limit. So that's what we are talking about here. And the hierarchy, the arrangement is very important too, because it executes from the top to the bottom. So let's look at the other one. Then before we now go to our Postgres properly, order by keywords. So like I've said, it is used to sort data inside a column from ascending order or descending order. And we normally asterisk it. If it is for ascending order, that will be ASC, or we don't, or we just leave it like that. But if it is for the descending, we have to put DESC. We are going to see how this thing works. So let's go. So this is just a similar syntax we use. You can see ASC or DSC, any one of them. These are the syntax. So it will rearrange it based on the column we mentioned. For example, if it is date, so it will, if it should go by descending order or ascending order now, I think it should be able to go from the oldest to the newest. So that is what it means. So the DSC means ascending, DESC means descending. Now, order by, basically, it's very important, especially even in Windows function. As little as it might look like, or simple it might look like, it's very powerful, especially when we want to understand the data structure. It's very important. Or when we are doing our data cleaning, sometimes we use order by to see if there are some foreign, I call it foreign data, because let's say a place where let's say a number is supposed to be, and there's text in between them. One of the things we can use to identify them is by using order by. So if it is text or something, they will come up first. If you are using ascending, they will be the one that they can come last, and they will be grouped in one place. And this is how you can identify them and understand that, oh, so we have so number of wrong data. Yeah, so you can now begin to know if you have to delete or not. So that is for the order by. So let's look at the second one, select distinct. It's just like unique instead of showing everything and even including the repeated stuff. So select distinct will give us a very distinct what's the name, value within the column. So it will remove many duplicates or many entry, multiple entry, and return them to one unique. So that's just that. So this is syntax. It is written together at the select, and these are the basic things. So this one, by the time you put the stint in there, it can actually remove some duplicates, especially during cleaning, data cleaning. You find this very useful. Now, I made a note here that, like in this example above, might not work on Firefox, especially if you are using maybe your kind of a browser is not being supported by maybe all this Microsoft and it's using Firefox. It might not run. So, and because the count distinct that works for Firefox is not supported by Microsoft Access Base. So you now see Firefox is using Microsoft Access in this lesson. So we are just trying to explain this is what it will now look like. But I don't think every one of us is using Firefox based database or so. So, but let's leave that. So the select state, like we've said, it return unique data within the column. That's just what it does. It removes duplicate and the likes. So and also it's treated null. That is, if there's no value within the cell, as value. So it will turn them kind of to number, but obviously they are not numbers. So that's what select distinct is all about. So let's look at the last one here, the like operator. So this like operator is very, very important again in data cleaning, in data transformation. We use it a lot to search or to do some advanced filter. Now, you can see from here, it says like operator is used in a where clause to search and able to filter some specific pattern in a column. I've seen people, this is a very common task. They will give them a huge data, maybe comprises of staff names, staff email, and they will ask you, okay, can you extract, maybe, there's some official email, like office email, that can have the full names, only that it's separated or delimited by just full stop. Like my name now, akwabi.shino@microsoft.net, for example. So everyone also is bearing the same pattern. And you have the thousands or millions of this what's the name, this data like that, and you are being asked to separate them, and you can use like operator to identify that, okay, who are the people, who are the staff, like the number of the emails are the same at microsoft.com as someone else at microsoft.com. So you will use that as a like to filter, to do some advanced search. And from there, you're able to know, okay, all of them are using Microsoft this, and you begin to know how you can extract, name. You can extract their name, even using wildcard. So it's just very important. So that's for like. Now, there are two wildcard often used in this structure, especially within the likes operator. The percentage, we say the percent sign represents 0. We are going to, there is a table I prepared, so it will help us. The one or multiple character, it can be 0. It represents some or several characters within. So it's something like you will just put, we are looking for this, and you will put something which is common. But let's move on. There's a table I created. Here we go. Now, this is just the explanation. If you are using something like where customer names like A dot, so that means every customer name that starts with A will return or will display. And if you put the A at the back of the percentage, you can see what I'm talking about the multiple character being dubbed in. So that A is a way of identifying, especially in a large database. This means the one that appear last. For example, if I'm searching countries and I'm entering this, okay, country name like a percentage, I'll not be surprised if Australia pop up, if Austria pop up, if Argentina pop up, if what was the name again? Angola pop up, or maybe I now replace it with Z. Then I will be expected to be seeing Zimbabwe, Zambia, you know, to just come up. So the letter, the first letter, and that means that you can even write, like, this is the email thing I was talking about. If I'm writing something like this, that okay, ends with A, then I can say, okay, like percentage at Microsoft.com. Then I can easily find people who are using Microsoft accounts. Or maybe in a mix of email, I can easily use that to search number of people using Gmail, number of people using Yahoo Mail. I'll just type at yahoo.com. So it will return it if I'm looking at a particular column, and I'll count there. What about the third one? You can see the all. Now you can it's just OR. It's not like all. That means OR is present inside the data. It can be a BA, for example, and maybe it is focusing on city. Like let's say we have US cities, and I mean maybe states, and Alabama will come out because if you are using AB, you will know that Alabama, Alabama, AB is there. So it will pop up because there's a match. Now, I will not be surprised at all if all these FBI, CIA, they are using prompt like this. They will just say, please give me your name. Or maybe they're searching something. Okay, they say one Daniel from, and they will just say, like, so we have thousands, as a matter of fact, thousands, tens of thousands of Daniel. And we begin to enter this thing, and there will be a cross match to say if this name and the information provided is meeting. So that's why you see that they don't joke with their database here. They just need clue, fingerprint, hair color, they just need proof. All right, so that's that. Now, where customer name like asterisk. So what it means is that if you are putting asterisk R, that means you'll be looking for country. Let's say this is a country we are looking at. That the second letter is R, maybe like Argentina, or what's the name of this? Brazil. We have, we can easily get it. So also, if you look at this also, A underscore. Now it means that it starts with A and there are at least 2 characters in the length. That is, whether I like it or not, there are more characters. The list is 2. Double under 2 double underscores, I mean, it means that at least 3 characters. The minimum character there should be 3. So that's what it means. Then this and look, the last one, A and O, meaning that it starts with A and with O. As simple as that. It's not the like operator, it's just enable us to filter. Sometimes there used to be a time that I always use what's the name? Alphabet now. Especially if it's a large number, when I'm trying to find, do we have any non-printable object or do we have any letters where the number are? It could be a very large data set. So I'll just type A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'll just type everything together. If one appears, at least I'll know that there's one there. So sometimes it can work, sometimes, it just depends on the position of where those documents are is. I mean, those letters, and it will count all of them. You know, and no, and this is a way to verify if our column is clean, or maybe there is an outlier to identify them at least. So let's move on. Okay, so I didn't include that. All right. So this is the syntax. You can see we'll state the condition, like, okay, where so like. We're going to see an example. So that's why I'm just assuring us that by the time we do this, we open our DBMS, you will see everything. Now, SQL-like operator, I said it's used to compare value similar to the value using in a wildcard, yes. Where like determine if a string matches a pattern or support to what, it's more of like investigation. And as a matter of fact, you can now even use it, especially if you have understand the nature of the data, to filter properly, to support or to streamline the filter more. So, and that is on this part now. So again, I recommend us to read this platform. So I will encourage us to do so. So that is for group by other keywords, operator, and the likes. So that is the first one we have today. So the second one we'll be having. Okay, before we move to the second one, so but let's just okay. Let me minimize this. So I will just continue from where we stopped yesterday. We are using the same data that we imported. So now we can just go through the public schema again. I showed us yesterday, create script. So I was able to import the script we saved yesterday. I saved it as Datakliq queries. This is it. I press open. So you can see what we typed has appeared again. So, but let's look at the data set. Let's take this one out first. So we can see how group by works. So you can see how group by works. You can see this is the old table now and the branch, So let's say there's a question and you're asking us that, what is the total quantity supplied per city? Now, the question now is, you'll be wondering, Abuja appeared here, another place, the same thing as maybe Lagos, same thing as Port Harcourt, same thing as Kano, So how are we going to summarize them so that they will just appear once and maybe the quantity, we can sum it or even find the average, anyone. So what we can do is simple. From here, we will just type, we'll continue. Okay, we will type what we are looking for, what we are just trying to bring out, city, comma, and the quantity now. So you type quantity. Just watch. Now let's run this through to show us city and quantity. And you can see them appearing multiple times. So what can we do now? Since we want to summarize just this, we don't want to split it like this. So we'll press, let's say sum. We'll just type sum, open brackets, I close it here. And there's something called alias. Time is really short. So alias is just like what will now be on the table name. Because if we leave it like this, but let me leave it like this first. You will see what I'm talking about. Now, group by. So we now type group by. We are grouping it with respect to what? City. So type city here. But watch, see what we are going to, it's going to give us. So you see, Kano, that sum everything in Kano. Lagos, 2001, everywhere Lagos appeared, that sum the quantity. and so on. So you can see the heading here is showing some. That's not what, it's not always good that way. So we can use a better substitute or like alias now and call it, we just type as total quantity. Maybe supply now. Make it a complete statement. So we'll run it again. So you can see it has changed. So now let's say we want to rearrange it. We want to know which one is first. You cannot be going like say, this is number one, number two, number three. Let's arrange them. People don't really have time. So we will just say, okay, order by. That was the last one. Order by. We are arranging it with respect to this guy. So we can bring all this quantity. We can even use the alias now. Or it's not always advisable to focus on alias because it's just for it to appear here. So if I leave it like this, maybe I put ASC or I didn't put anything, it's still the same thing. But let's see what it's going to display, give us. So you can see it from the smallest to the largest. If I remove the ASC, it's still the same thing. It's still going to give us the same thing. So let me just run it and see. So you can see it's the same thing. But the moment we put descending, so that means it's bigger and it's now reducing as we move down. So you can see Lagos, Abuja, and so on and so forth. I don't know if this part is clear. Let me drop my screen. I'm having a feeling that there will be question. Okay. Okay. Getting question. Okay, I can see people raising up their hand. Okay. Mr. Luafemi M. Bamboye, please go on with your question. Hello, Mr. Femi, you are raising up your hands. Okay, what about Mr. Joshua Akiwande? Can you speak?
All right, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. I just wanted to call you to the fact that your screen was lagging.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I don't know if that's why I was actually trying to pause. But do you first of all log out to be sure that it's not from your end, sir, and join me?
No,
So
I've not tried that.
anytime.
But another person dropped it in the chat box. The same complaint too.
Okay, okay, okay. Definitely it should be from my hand. Okay, it's definitely gonna. I think the screen is lagging. Okay, I think it's net. Rain just stopped now. Rainfall just stopped now. So, but is it better now? Like, is it still lagging? Let me put some stuff up. Um, is it still lagging, sir? I need that feedback. Hello. Okay. Okay, no
I
problem.
Are you still
Yes, I'm asking. Is it still lagging now?
okay? I think it's better now. I think it's better now.
Oh, okay. Okay. So just let me know in case. All right. So
All right.
this is what group buy is all about. Now, let me do something now. So everything we just discussed, we're able to, you know, do it. So let's bring everybody back. So Now, we want to, okay, let's say we are look from the product line here. We want to find the ones that has accessory at the back of their listing. Maybe that is we are looking for something, so we are just trying to figure out that okay, the product has something accessories. Okay, that's not a problem. So we will just say where product line do not type like. Now remember what I showed us about the quote percentage, something like this. Sorry, using double quotes. Percentage and what we are looking for. Accessories can be found most of the time at the back, but we just type it as okay, accessory. It can be it can be case sensitive. So, but let's see if it's going to return it. All right. So if you look at it here, it runs. So let's look at all what we have. Oh, electronic accessories, fashion accessories. So you can begin to streamline what you are looking for. No. And this thing is in Port Harcourt. Sometimes you can do command and start the next condition and said, oh, city. I don't know if this city is equals to maybe port. Harcourt. I'm just saying, no. Oh. Sorry. I'm supposed to use or and. Sorry, it should be and. So, you will begin to streamline it. You can see now, Port Harcourt, after we are mentioning accessories now, are focus. So you add another one by pressing and so on like that. I'm just trying to use ones to kill 14 birds, but I don't know if that's even possible. So that's the picture I want us to see. Now, let's move to let's quickly move to the second point part of the presentation so that we can now use our time to do the hands-on section. So what we are going to discuss again is the join, because this part we cannot cover everything though, but we felt some parts are more important, and maybe in the course of our short time, while we are doing our project, our hands-on practical section, we'll be touching them, so it will help us. Now, I mentioned it briefly yesterday about the argument that has always been that's about join and subquery. That can we be using them together or are they separate thing? So we will say a more clarified answer now. Then we'll be talking about the join, the inner join keywords, the left join, the right join, and the full outer join. So let's go. Now, this is the question about the joins and the subqueries. I told us that we discussed that subqueries are nested queries. Queries being nested from another. For join, combination of multiple tables, we are going to do that. So, it said why, the question is, can they be used alternatively? Why subqueries and joins both retrieve data from a multiple tables, yes. They are not always interchangeable because they serve different purposes. For example, like subquery now, you normally use it to retrieve data that you want to use as a value or maybe from condition within a single query. So that is for subquery. And they're often used for filtering, calculation, checking, and system. But join is actually a way to combine a row so that they can bring multiple tables together and create a bigger table. It's just like people getting married, this one through their son-in-law, their son and daughter, they marriage and they become a bigger family. That's what join is all about. And I think that is the most relatable example I can give. So this stay with the discussion. So he said in some cases, though you can mix some, in the very rare cases and still achieve the same result. But the choice is always depending on the specific requirement of your query. So in general, use subquery when you need to retrieve a single value or perform a conditional check. Or use join when you need to combine data from multiple. Yes, now it's so clear. So clear. So let's look at them one after the other, the join. So what's even this join? A join clause is used to combine rows. Those rows are their children, two families, tables. Sorry, I will be using that analogy so that we can see that picture clearly. Two family, they don't know each other. They are from different states, or different tribes, as a matter of fact. So their kids, one a boy, one a girl, one a young man, one a young lady. They now meet and, they dated and they say, oh, it's time to expand our family. So that is the roles we are talking about. We'll see it. And something that is common between them, related, So, but we have different types of join. We have the inner join, the left join, the right join, and the full outer. We'll be talking about them one after the other. At least we get a picture of what the join is all about. So the inner join, just like maths, the Venn diagram, like the subset. This is the family A. This is another family. So it will only return the ones in the middle, the ones that have the same information. That is inner join. Now the left join. Now it's focusing on one particular family. Maybe all this Nigerian movie that will say one family is rich, maybe the family and the other one they are just managing, they are not much. You join us now, and the family joined them. And these rich guys, they overshadowed your people, you understand? So that is left join. The opposite also is the right join. And the full outer join is everyone. So that's the picture. I just used that to depict what I'm trying to say. These are the types of SQL join. So let's look at them one after the other. The inner join. Now I'll be saying this. Most people mistaking, or maybe they don't know when to use inner join. That's why I designed a particular case study. We will see by the time we are writing our queries. It focuses on matching value. As a matter of fact, some people are doing SQL. They will just go join any one of them that comes to your mind. Yeah, you just type join. Sometimes it will show the result and say, oh, okay, this thing works. So because it will still definitely show some result, but maybe because of how the data is built. For example, let's say before I can, how should I put it now? Before you can do a transaction in our bank, then that means you must have registered. Do some KPI and KYC, with the customer service rep. Now, if you are not trying to bring those information, because it automatically means the what's the name? Any account holder or any transaction carried out here is registered first. Then it will seem working. But this is where it will get confusing. If the sources of the transaction, they have different sources, not particularly from customer service. Maybe they have other places, then inner join will not work. So it's better you use the right thing, the left join. Left join is best when it comes to that. But we are going to see what I'm talking about. I guess it's going to be clear. So this is a syntax regarding the inner join. Just type inner, and this is family one. The what's the name? The son, their family, and this is the the other family, the bride family. So on means on is on, but just to tell us that their children, they are trying to become one family, and this is it. This is the son name, and this is the son name from his family, and this is the daughter, because they are the same, and this is our own family, table 2, and they join together. But because their focus is inner join, so it's focusing only on this. I'm trying to, I don't know if it works, if the analogy works, but that is how it play out, So let's look at the second one, the left join. So left join is very useful. So you can see entire table and some part of it. Now this is why it's very important. If you are to bring out something and you are using inner join, so you will see that there are some other people. Let me use the bank again now. There are some other people who, let's say, who are using another, maybe they don't do, let's say if it is possible, they didn't do any registration, they didn't register, and maybe it is some all this government special, you understand, and they'll just come to bank, and I'm just saying, then the inner join will not work. The left join is the right thing. So you were able to bring all the returns from the transaction. This is the transaction table. And it will take a portion, the one that matches with the ones we have here, from what? From the customer table. And it will go to another sources to take one. So this is where left join is very useful. So this is the syntax. It's similar, just you just have to change this. The other one from inner to left. And their family, the same thing, join together. So that's what it means. Right join is just the same thing, but on the other side. It's just like the other side. Yes. It's the same approach. Nothing, no. So people don't normally even talk about it, all right, John? So let's go to the last one, the full outer. Now, this one, everybody. Yeah, everyone come to me. No discrimination. That's what it actually means here. You can see full outer join. Every one of them will come up. No segregation, nothing. So this is the syntax. And when we want to merge two tables together, so it's very function. It's very important here. We can leverage on that. So, and this is again, just to remind us that it is used to combine multiple tables within the database. So once we can combine it, and we can't just combine it like that, we must have a column that is similar in the both tables, 2 tables or more, before we can say, okay, on this to royal join. So that is what it means. Now, that's for this one. So let me quickly just rush us down to the Postgres properly. Now, we have been playing around with this. Now, we now want to, if you look at the documents, okay, sorry, let me run this down. If you look at the document properly, you will see that, okay, we have the invoice ID. And though I made some slight modification that the product ID at least should be there so that it will make sense. So this explanation will make sense. The branch, the city, the every other one, they're all there. But it means that there is another document now. There is another document that has the product information. As a matter of fact, there are two. This is one of them. The product ID and names. So this is a company that supply this product. So that's why we call it Aviva and Rocks product. Only God know what comes to my head when I was writing this. Then the second one is Sam and Lee product. It's also in that table. So it's not just going to be one. So it can be 5. I've seen one that they will reference the transaction or the main fact table from multiple sources. So this is why you must understand when you should use your inner join and when you should use your left join. It's very important. So let's bring this guy on board. That's the picture. So let's just write a comment. Creating a table. So we can call it product profile. So that's that. Just the same way we create this table. So we'll look at what is actually on that table. Then we can open it. Let's look at it. Just 2 columns. I deliberately leave it 2 columns. It should be more than this. Product ID and product name. So you can just copy it and say, okay, these are the columns. We can put it within this comment too. So we can say create. At least this will refresh our memory regarding on how we can create a table. So this is a table name we want to create. So we'll type create table, then open a bracket. Just press enter. Now the first one is product ID. Just copy it. Then you just say partial variable character or varying character, anyone. 100, comma. Then the next one is product name. So we'll bring it here also. It's partial variable character. So so just want to put it straight so that everything. So let's call this product profile underscore 1. So we can run it successful. So let's even look at the table now. By the time we refresh it, it will turn to 2. You know, it's still showing 1 here. The trigger function will trigger it. You can see we have a new one now. Then we can also, okay, let's import it. Now, somebody will say, why are we always writing, especially when we are, because when you are trying to debug, it's a good habit to know how to trace. You have to cultivate that habit, especially you'll be writing a lot of codes, a lot of queries, and you cannot afford to not comment on what you are doing so that it can be very easy for not just you, someone else who you might be needing, please let me to check that query, I beg, and let me filter it. And the guy will say, where? Which line? He's setting on meeting, and you'll be truly confused. So this part will be okay. So importing data set into the table. So that's what we want to do now. So we just, again, like what we did yesterday, don't forget, don't always, just know that you can always copy and, so nothing spoil. So we can say, okay, copy from. Now, this is the guy we want to copy it. Then from, put a quote. This is where the link will be. Then you will type the limiter. So what is separating them, since we are using CSV? These are the things we talked about yesterday. So let me save it. So now let me go to the data. So let's start with this guy, Aviva. Now that we have something like this, we have created a table header, so we don't need this tool. So something like this, can take them out. We need to save it. Control save, and we are good. So once we do that, we'll just right-click this. This is a Microsoft. Postgres is not, so you need permission to get you through. Then you go to security, edit, add, and type everyone. So typing everyone, so you can able to override what it is required. So click on apply before copying this guy. So I've copied it now. Okay. Then I'll put it here. Control V. So I run it. Successful. So let's create the second one. That is the second guy. So let's just, it's the same format. So let's just remove it, but because they are gotten from a different sources, Control save. So we'll just recycle this, like we'll change this to, let's change this to 2, I will run it. This is one of the coolest thing about SQL. So we have created 3 tables now altogether. So you can see product 1 profile, product 2 profile, we just do now. So on 2, so we will come back again here. This guy, this is the one we just opened. Sometimes if you're not sure, just put your cursor here. So you will see the last date, the last time, 302. So it's the recent one, unlike this 301. So that's fine. So you can right click this, go to the properties, security, edit, add, just like what we did the other time. So type everyone and press OK. Allow everything to click, yes, and copy this link. So I've copied that. So we'll paste it here, we'll replace it. Good. Then run it for the second one. Successful. Now, this is where I'm going to. Let me save this. Now, by the time we want to combine tables now together, let me type this. So select star from retail table. Now, if you run this, just watch. This is everything. The product ID. So let's say we want to combine it. The join now. Okay, let me type joins. So we can say, okay, I will show us the I'll first show us the inner join. We will now see the difference. Watch. So inner join. the table, let's say table 1. Oh, table 1. This one is showing true, but don't worry, I'll correct that. Now, we can also give tables. Colon doesn't only have alias. Tables too can be bearing alias now, any letter you give it. So we can call this R if we like, and we can call this guy O as per 1, something like this. It doesn't matter. Anything that will just give it is fine. So we can now say, okay, on. What is joining them together? These two family is their kid. Product ID is present in both. So we just say, we type the kid first. Product ID equals to product ID. Now we need to add their surname to this, their papa name. So how dot, that is their surname. Then the other bride, the alias. So just add it. Now, if you run it, you will see something, what I'm talking about. So let's run it. Now, it only return, just watch, it will only return those ones that matches. But let's do it this way. Let's count it. It will just give us a single value now. 482. 482. But if I change this to left, but let's see, but I want to be sure, 1000. So you see there is a difference between left and inner. People use it together. They will just say, let me share enter join. If you press ordinary join, let's even take this out, and you run it, watch. It would assume is an inner. That is the point. So somebody must have done, maybe, yes, you know SQL. You must have done interview, like some interview, and this now SQL they give now. Very simple. And at the end of the day, they didn't reach out back to you. So what just happened? Well, I kill it now. I mean, I nail it. So this is what makes the difference. Because the deceiving thing is that it will still give you, it will still return value to you. So this is to tell you the importance of knowing the difference between the inner and the left join. The left join will include all the transaction. The left join. Don't forget this presentation. Let me show us. This is left join. You can see all the transaction must be there, which is the 1000, the retail. Then, and the ones that matches it. Now, if I bring them in, watch what I'm going to do. You are going to see, missing empty space. The moment I try to, let me just do something like this. R dot star. That is everything around this family, is to bring all the family. So we are tagging their surname and the product name from O. So we can just say O dot product name, comma. Now you will see one funny thing, missing values. Let me now use left. And let me use inner, no. Okay, let me use left, sorry. Left is what I'm anticipating. So let's run it. Now you see null, Shetiri, the null. Sorry, I speak Yoruba. That is exactly the point. This null you are looking at, null, are these guys. they are this empty guy. And which is the right thing. Is the right thing. But if we just say inner one, maybe it's inner, or we just leave type join alone, you won't even see any inner. I mean, no. Because of what? Because it's now only focusing on this middle, this inner one. Meaning that the transaction table you are even analyzing is no more there again. So it's very important we know these differences. Left join. So it's very important. Now, please, left join is what we can use. So we can just, okay, and let's run it. And you can see now, this is a big table now. And, so this is what we are talking about. But we can also do another, something else also. And what is it? We can bring in the second table and said, okay, left join again. This guy. Let's change this to 2. That is for the second table now. So let's give it a nickname T. Then we'll say, okay, on, the same thing here. So we just need to do the needful. So just change this one to T. By now we know why it is so. Now we can just say, okay, the product name O should be there. You can see we have a null here. But the moment we type something like this and say, okay, we need something like T dot product name, comma. That is 3 tables now. And by the time we run it, it will now populate it because they are the one that balance this data. And it can actually be more. It can actually be more. Sorry, hold on, sorry. Oh, sorry, my bad. Sorry, we have to use subquery. That's why, because once we are using the left join, it will assume that, okay, we are grouping them against each other. So that's why we have more. So what we can do here, rather than just bringing this guy in, is to use subquery. So that will even to show us how subquery can be achieved, the most common one. So let me delete this. I know this part is looking, what are we doing here? I'm so sorry, but the good thing is we have the video, practice it. And so subquery is like turning this entire, let me run it again. It's like, oh, sorry. There's something mixing. Left join. I'm coming. Oh, sorry, this guy. I've forgotten that I've included it. Okay. So this is the one. This is like a table now. How you can approach it. We normally write a formula. Where is itself? Something like this. So we can treat this entire table or just the same way we treat retail table. So we can just create a subquery by typing from all this. Even if you now type select star or and we give, because we have to give this one a nickname, and we can call it, okay, let's call it A. By the time we run it, it's still going to give us the same thing. The same thing, you see? But we have subqueried it now. And we can now say, okay, now that we have our table, we can now say, okay, let's join. This is now assumed as a table. Let's join this guy. So just edit it now. So let's call it T. Then on. So we'll say, because this is now being viewed as a family collectively now. So the product ID is what is still appearing. So we can just say, okay, product ID underscore ID equals to product underscore ID. So we will just say A, the family of A, because they are now one, and the family of T. So we can now say select not just all now. Let's try to bring the product name into the picture. So we can say, okay, let's run everything first. Let's see how it's going to look. Oh, it will be too big. Oh. It will be too big. We need to specify. So let's say A dot. This is A dot now. If we run it, it will still give us the same thing. Like to the same thing. You can see it's still the same thing. Then we can now add this guy, the information from here, the product name. We can just indicate that, okay, we are trying to bring in other products. Okay, let's just put it here. Let's put T dot product underscore name from the T table now. Now, from the T table, you will see that some of them will match, some of them will not. But the idea is that one of the things we should take note, yes, is going to have confirmed it. It's going to be almost the same thing, because from the T, from the product alone, the product name, it's not like it's adding it. We can decide to say, okay, we can have another product name, but just give it an alias. But one of the things we should know is that it will matches the record here. We matches with the what's the name? We matches with where is the product ID? Sorry, I've gone. We matches with the product ID, and that is correct. Sorry, this will matches with the product ID anywhere. So we can use case to now how should I put it, consolidate them. But one most important thing is we can now say, okay, we are sourcing all our tables from multiple sources using the left join, and that is correct. So, but let's look at a task. I know it's like I'm preaching and I'm making, like I'm sounding like this guy has scattered things, but trust me. Let me give an example. Let's show one of this thing. Now, let's say we are having a task. Okay, let's leave this guy sales timeline because it will require us to draw week and total cost. But let's leave this one. Product line versus quantity. Let's start with that. Then we can be moving to other parts. Product line versus quantity. For example, we can say, okay, the product type. If I'm to do this, let me just say, okay, let's try to consolidate this guy first, or maybe create a column, yeah. So we can just say, okay, product line, let me write the comment. product line versus quantity. Now, this is just like a task we can do. Then they're just basically using this. This is the table we are focusing on. So let me press space. We can say, okay, select all from this. So the focus is product line, which is in this one naturally. Let's run it. It's there naturally, product line. This is the product line, and this is the quantity, the tool that we are looking for. So basically, we just say, okay, we don't need everything here. Just write product underscore line, comma, and sum. Don't forget, we did it, group by the aggregate function. So just put quantity. So we'll give it a nickname as total underscore quantity. So yeah, we'll now say, okay, group by. We are grouping it with respect to this product line. So, but first, let's look at it. Let's look at what we are going to have. So you can see all of them well arranged. So we can now look at it and say, okay, order by. We can even use this guy directly. Now, the alias. So we will say, okay, maybe from the biggest to the smallest. So that is descending. We just talked about it. Now, in this arrangement, let's go back to Excel to confirm if what we just did is correct. Sorry, in case you don't need to force yourself, especially when you are studying the drawing. But what I would just say is that don't rush. It's a bit technical. I just try to clarify something, especially in misconception that has been going on for a while. That people are just using any join and just feel good. But let's back to this. So let's look at this product line. I think I have it here. There's one small dashboard I did one time. This is it. Okay, product line. You can see 971. Okay, let me even go to the thing. Where the product line. So you can see 971, 952, 920. 971, 952, 920. You can see it's straightforward. Very direct. So we can use any of those tools to do it, but because of how SQL can handle larger amount of data, so it's good, it flows well with it. So that is for product versus quantity. So let's look at the payment type versus cost of goods sold. I'm using a particular the data we are using yesterday. This data set we used yesterday, and I felt we got the data. I shared it yesterday. I mean, Ms. Kusala shared it yesterday with us. So, all right. So now we want to look at this guy now. The payment type versus cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold is there. It's the same approach. I would have even loved us to do it. It's bonus. You can even come here and say, okay, we don't need to stress ourselves. Just copy all this. Sorry, let me write a comment. Payment type versus cost of goods sold. All right, so that's for that. So we just change this to payment type. It's not that. Then COGs. What do I name the okay, is it COG I call it? So let me look at the data set. Sorry. Let me see. Sometimes you just have to look at it. Yeah, COGS is correct. So COGS. So as total COGS. So this is our guy. We are grouping it with respect to it. And this guy. So running it straightforward, no stress. So you can see the cash, e-wallet. I mean, the cash is the highest, followed by this, followed by, Now, there's something we did here, 95, 104, 106. So because we sorted it the other way around, something like this, 106, 104. But there's something we did, we were using percentage, to depict it. So for example, because if you look at the chart here, you see 31, 35, sometimes you might be asking, as little as this could be, they might be saying, please, we want to see it in percentage. Now, this is where the subqueries now will comes in. Subqueries will come in here. So watch. So just want to subquery this. So we type from, open the bracket. So we are referencing from here. So let's call this one B, anything, it's fine. So you will now say, so we just want to add a column now. We want to add a column, or we don't need subquery. Sorry, we don't need a sub. Yeah, we are going to use subquery, but not this type. Not this type. Not this type. So what we are just going to do is simple. So we are just going to let me see if we can create it. Okay, we have to subquery. We have to subquery. Now, this is what we are going to do. We are going to create an extra column that will now do these calculations. Of course, even though we can do it straight from here. So select, just okay, B star, B dot star. Oh, sorry. B dot star, that is referencing from here, comma, and we can say, I'm coming, we'll open a bracket and said, no, we can use case, sorry, I don't want to, okay, let's just continue. Can we use this thing by selecting, okay, select, I don't want to confuse you, but I'm going to explain this. Payment type, or I'll just say B dot payment type, then continue typing from retail underscore. I'm trying to be careful so that I don't want to confuse you guys. So, but I just now, or let me just use the opportunity to teach you case. Case is like if and else statement in Excel. Straightforward. Case is like if and else statement. So just say, okay, case, They now say when this guy, you will now mention the condition. That would be a column. We just want to add a single column where the payment type now, or don't forget to add your surname, B, payment type is equals to cash. If you are writing a data, it will definitely be a case sensitive within the data within the cell. So don't just assume every other part that is case sensitive. Is this return? We just say then that is return. Show us. Now we'll now do the calculations. Show us total B dot total COG S. We can do it like this. Sorry. The value alone, that is, we just write it separately because we can actually do something and say, okay, based on this, please watch. Let me just separate this first and you will see what I'm talking about so that I don't confuse us. Even though it's looking like that, but let me just say this. So we can say, okay, select payment type now. And you now state the condition here where the payment type, that is this guy, is equals to hash. Now, what is going to show us is the 106, 100,000, and this one. That's only what is going to show us. Oh, sorry. COG is what I'm expected to type here. So it will hold on. COG does not exist. Oh, my bad. Total. We have changed the earlier. Sorry, my bad. I think. All right. It's fine. So it will show us 106. Easy. Now, we can now copy this. That is all this now. Since we know that this is for the catch, and say then do this. Control V. It looks so big, like this, what we just did now. Like what we can even make it kind of a straight line so that it doesn't mix up. Because that is what we can even use common table expression, but we just need to know the nitty-gritty first. Okay, let me cut it down from here. We just copy it, so we just want to rearrange it, so it doesn't get, we don't mix it up. Or that by, okay, it's fine this way. All right, that is for the then. Show us this. There's a two brackets open. So, okay, we are still on. That is for the C. and this guy. Then we can close the bracket. Divided, and close the bracket now. Now, divided by the, what's the name? The sum. So we can say, okay, divided by the sum. Or we can write a query. Let's write a query. Wait. Time, I'm just trying to rush everything because today is the last day. Sorry. So let's select all this also. Okay, let me just copy this. Without the condition. So instead of this, it should now show us, okay. Oh, no. Something like, some, does it? Okay, let me see if the sum will work so that it doesn't see it as an aggregate function again and start saying, oh, we have to. Well, let's just type sum of total total of this. So this is coming from B. So this is just like a condition, but one of the things we can do more. I'm coming. Okay, so let's first of all end it as let me just use else 0 to see how it's going to look like. Else show 0. And we can type end as percentage, or percentage. Let me just put percentage. So comma and dista. So this is, I'm just trying to ensure on the right track. And if not, okay, this is the correction we are making. Okay, so decimal syntax. Okay. Then open this. Oh. I'm coming. Hold on. Let me just run this. Let me see. I want to check something. Okay, let me just give a value. So I'm just troubleshooting now. Here. Let me just call it 2 million. I'm coming. So I want to know where the error comes from. Okay. It's coming from the bracket, not. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2 is open. Oh yeah. It has to be. Okay, it's double bracket. Shouldn't, just one is fine. Let's see. Okay. is correct. So the idea is, let me change it back to sum. I don't know. I just pray it doesn't see it as total costs of goods sold. It does. So let's run it. Oh, it will require a aggregate function. I get. So we can write this one outside again. We have to write this one outside. That is so that we can view it as a total this time around. So, or we can just say, okay, let me look at this. So we can, it will just be one of the things we can, we can get from here. So we can just align this. Let's copy this. Oh, we don't need all these ones. So we just need some of this guy alone. Let's see. Oh, it's still some minutes. We just want it to appear as one. How should we go about it? Okay. It will still require, this is what we need. We don't need group by here again. So okay, so just sum of, because it's already knows this as total cost of goods sold, so we don't really need to just put B. Yeah, let me take this straight through. Okay, from, yeah. So let's now look at it to just, excuse me, just to now see what we have. Sometimes we just have to be going back and forth. Okay, it doesn't, hey, it's B, sorry. Just mixing it up B. Okay, yeah, it's C, it's correct. Oh, okay. Let's change this to B. Must appear in the group by using aggregate function. So when B, then select, okay, it's focusing on, no. Sorry, let me just use, the C's are correct, not using this. I'm just trying to, this is just the first condition, but the other ones can assume the same shape too. Like, okay, because we ended it with just the cash only. So if I'm to do something like this, I will just, okay, let me state the condition again. I'll just copy this. So this will now be for the other one, e-wallets. So the condition here will be e-wallet also. I need to be certain if, okay, then credit card is the next one. Then, oh, hey, sorry. Let me just copy this. Okay, let me run it to be certain if we are on the right. Of course, we should be on the right track. Okay, it's not seeing e-wallet. Okay. Let me see how the e-wallets look like. It cannot identify. Okay, small letter, case sensitive, like I've said. So let me run it. Oh no. So this way it went. Aha, you see, just the case sensitive. We are going to correct that. Then the third one. So we can say else. Okay, let's just say else should return this guy. Should return this guy. I'm just trying to explain how subquery works with case and with case. Sorry. Credit card. Okay, this is our credit card is with. So we just have to be so credit card. So let's now run it. No. Okay, maybe it's not saying it. Oh, see, capital letter again. So let's run it again. So you see, but one thing we are just going to do, well, with all this long line, we can just put round. Yeah, you know, it's one of the data analytics function we mentioned in the class. So round, then with all this. Okay, let me open another bracket so one can capture the end of this. And 2. Let's just give it 2. So by the time we run it, we'll just put comma and we'll run it. It will, at least the first one will look better in 2 decimal place. See, 36. So then the second one, we'll just do the same thing. We'll add round. Open it 2 times, 3 times, I mean. It's to 2 decimal place. That's what the 2 here means. Then the third one, just add, where is the then? Okay, third one should, so else, we now type round. Now, this is, that's just it. So let me run it and so what we just did is that, okay, one is 36, 35, you know, we just approximate it, you know, so we assume now, okay, 307. Let's say we are using 307 for now. Then, because the if we are to use Windows function, so we will definitely be on the right stuff. Sorry, we don't use comma here. So if you run it, then we can. So 35 cash, 34, that is e-wallet, and credit card 31. So the point I'm trying to make is that you can see where we use our, what's the name? We're able to use our subquery and also using the, what's the name? We saw how we used the join to combine, to bring in tables. So you can see subquery can be done in multiple ways. We can use the direct one, we can use the correlation. This is the correlation one we are using right now, but we use it together with the case. So it might look like, what do we just do? And only for us to get something as small as this. But this is what I want us to do, because it's the truth, the real truth is that these 2 weeks or so is not really enough for you to understand properly the idea around, what's the name? The idea around the SQL. Even once in a while, sometimes while I'm doing some things, there can still be some few gaps I have to, like what we just witnessed, you know, some error, especially when we are trying to subquery multiple times like this. So what will help you? There is a website called W3 Schools. It's a very good website. Let me say this. W3 Schools. Please, the assignment I gave you was linked towards it. So just go through this. And you know, please, I want you to take time. It's very easy, very simple, like to learn, to go through this, and it will really help you a lot in the journey. On the key distance, you will see several examples like this. This is the group by statement, and you can even try it out. You can click on this, try it yourself, you know, and you will run it, and you see that it's giving you what is expected to do, and this is count. Then, you know, it will do so. You can do a lot of things. Practice it. Then you can always, you know, go around this video, combine it together, because the thing is, when it comes to SQL, please, you have to be patient, don't rush, and do your best to start, like learn. We have some tables here that you can work with. If I click here, customer table, they are here, categories of what you are selling, employee table, product table, and so on like that, that you can do, you can use for your practice. So everything is there, and I know I must have been speaking German, because of what I was doing. Is as if I'm speaking to myself, But don't worry, I'm just challenging us now. I want us to go through those things, especially in that pivot. And the time we are rushing is too short. There's still some topic I would have loved to show you. But if I've mentioned this, then you miss that you can, there are some topics like case. You can look for case. This is the case I just used now. When and then, the condition and the then. But because I was able to combine it together with the subquery, so it looks somehow, it looks messy. Let me put that word. See? Case, when, then this is the then. Then these are the subqueries again. This is a subquery, select from. So this is my leave for you guys is that please start with this. Trust me, start. And you can even see the left join, right join, everything join. So please just start, just try. So do we have any question or any feedback? Any question or feedback? And also the advanced class also. We'll spend time also. We'll talk also on SQL. Yesterday, the quiz I gave you guys yesterday, I think that is enough. It will cover everything we do. And maybe this is what I should do. I will send a project. I'll send a project in PDF. I'll send it to the group. So it will require you guys to use it because I will not want to put duration. If I should use duration, you guys will not finish it. So I want you guys, what you will do for me is you will go to the W3 school, the link I shared yesterday. So all your answers, you will screenshot them and send it. Like you will just show that, okay, you attempted it. I mean, it's not something you'll be like, okay, optional this thing, maybe with multiple answers. No, something you should be able to attempt. So, and I actually want to apologize, especially for slides. All right, I will try to share. Understand that the group buy is I mean the what's the name? The what's the name? The join is kind of technical. So I'll share the PDF. I will try to convert the PowerPoint to PDF and I'll send it to you guys also for support. But most importantly, I want you guys to practice it. It's very important. So any more questions, please feel free. Any more questions? Okay, Mr. Daniel, please, you have the first one. Mr. Daniel, you can go on, sir. Okay, Mr. Daniel, you are raising up your hand the other time. So I'm trying to enable you to. All right. I think you are saying something, but you are not so audible. I don't know if it's from my hand too. Very good. I'm
Now, can you hear
suspecting
me?
it. Okay, good. You're audible now. So.
Okay, yeah, I was saying that today class didn't go so well with me due to, I don't know whether it was from my end or yours. The network has been a little bit bad. The class, your screen has been lagging from the beginning of the class to, let's say, the end. I wasn't able to understand anything. So if we could be able to get the video as quick as possible, so that maybe going to the video, I might be able to understand the whole thing you taught today.
Sure. Um, I'll do my best to ensure. Of course, they will send the video. You will see it. I think the yesterday's video has been sent. You know. So we'll just check
Yes, sir.
our.